Welcome to the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I am your host, Justin Allen Hayes, founder and executive director of Voices for Voices. Voices for Voices is the #1 ranked podcast and TV show where people turn to for expert mental health, recovery, and career advancement intelligence. Our Voices for Voices TV show and podcast is all about teaching you insanely actionable techniques to help you prosper, grow yourself, your self-worth, and your personal brand. So if you are a high achiever or someone who wants more out of life, whether mentally, physically, or spiritually, make sure to subscribe to our TV show and podcast right now. So as you can see, our TV show and podcast publishes episodes every Wednesday that focus on case studies, real life examples, actionable tips, and in the trenches reports and interviews from subscribers just like you. So that sounds like something that could help you grow personally or professionally, then make sure to join me by subscribing. And again, we are trying to help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. So if you're able to, it doesn't cost you anything. Like, subscribe, share. We greatly appreciate it. Today, we are super grateful to have our guest with us, joining us from Bucyrus, Ohio. She is the new Miss Wheelchair Ohio. She is really, we think of, she's the real Miss Unstoppable, like Sia's song, Unstoppable. She is a go-getter. She loves helping. She loves teaching. She is a current Special Olympics cheerleader. And as noted, she earned the Miss Unstoppable title in a local pageant as a teen. She loves teaching children especially, spending time with her family and friends, and talking about her platform, Knowledge is Power, with a heavy focus on educating children about disability etiquette to promote awareness, empathy, and inclusivity. So why don't you join us in welcoming our guest, Miss Wheelchair Ohio, Gabby Kozinski. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Once again, I'm Gabby Kozinski, and I am the newly crowned Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2024 as of earlier in March.
That's so amazing. How did you learn about the pageant?
So we don't refer to it as a pageant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We refer to it as a competition.
Okay.
But I actually learned about it a couple years ago when I was competing in the local pageant, because one of the judges and mentors, Laura Sykes, was Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2020, and she told me about it, and she really encouraged me that once I turned the age for the competition, that I should apply, and I got in. So then I competed in Mount Vernon of earlier in March, the first weekend in March.
Awesome. How does it feel to be crowned Miss Wheelchair Ohio?
I was in disbelief, and honestly, if I would have remembered, I would have brought my crown and staff. So, shame on me. But I was really happy. Everyone has been really supportive, and I've just been making my appearances.
Yeah, and we greatly appreciate your time to spend with us and to share and have a lot of our followers and individuals watching and listening to learn more about you. Can you speak a little bit about your platform, the Knowledge is Power?
Absolutely. So knowledge is power, which emphasizes teaching everyone, but most importantly, children, how to interact with other individuals with disabilities. Because not everyone that has a disability or appears to be in a wheelchair has the same physical challenges or mentally challenges. So, like for me, I am physically, my body is not, I can't walk, and I can only use my right arm, but mentally I am fully capable of anyone else. And that's not always the case with other individuals. Some have it the other way around, or some have it um both not at all, or some have it more severe both ways.
And yeah, and I think that's important. You're sharing that because I think there are misnomers about disabilities in general, of knowing that it's not a catch-all, that everybody with a certain disability has, these three or these two, or things that that they're working through, that there are different levels of that. And I think sharing that and educating others, especially children, at an early age, helps them. So as they're growing older and then they become mentors and teaching others, I think that's a great platform to have.
And why I chose children was because, for one, I've always wanted to work with children. But two, as we see in today's society, unfortunately, a lot of grown people treat individuals with disabilities like a child or a baby, and they bend down and do the baby voice, which I don't like.
Oh,
You don't need to do that, but if they know if they're exposed at an early age to other individuals with disabilities, they'll be more likely to approach individuals with disabilities properly, as opposed to children that are not exposed to individuals with disabilities.
wow. Thank you for that. When you were interviewed at the competition with the WMFD TV's talk show, sitting down with Kelby King, host, how was that? I guess was that your first interview that
So
you?
I have not gotten an interview officially with her yet. I have reached out to her, but she did cover the competition.
Okay. Do you get nervous when you're in an interview, or are you a
No,
natural?
I'm a natural.
Great,
But
yeah.
I did have to answer a couple on stage interview questions by the panel of judges.
Oh, could you share those questions?
What would you do to better the community if you were to win this Wheelchair Ohio 2024? Or another one was, you mentioned that you have struggled with your mental health in the past. How would you help someone that also struggles with that? How would you help them work through that?
Wow. Did you know those questions ahead of time, or did you just find out?
No,
No.
no.
Oh. That had to be. I can imagine if I was in that position, I'd be really nervous, especially not knowing a question and to answer. How did you answer? Is that where your platform came from?
My platform came from my experience of how people that don't necessarily know me have approached me, and me knowing that I don't like it when someone does the baby talk.
Hmm.
And when I mean baby talk, I mean the high pitch, oh, and then you turn around and use your normal voice to someone else. That, or like also people bending down to talk to me that don't know me on a daily basis. Because people that know me know they better not do that or it's gonna irritate.
Oh. And I'm glad you're able to share that so transparently with us, because that's something that I didn't know about. Makes me obviously think much differently of how approaching any individual that may.
Yes, I tell people that I'm fully capable of holding a conversation with you, like standing up. It doesn't bother me to look up, and I don't like the baby voice, the high pitch. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
I do, yeah. And I mean, I'm even thinking with my 5-year-old daughter, how I've even done that over the time she's growing up, and that makes me now think differently, that I should maybe rethink that approach, that she maybe does not want that or does not like that, and that it's very important to learn that. Thank you for
Well, also because even when I was a teenager, a full grown adult, people were doing that to me, thinking I'm a little kid, and I'm not. Like, I'm fully capable of holding an adult conversation at your normal voice that you would use on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And so the Special Olympics, how did you get involved with that organization?
So the Special Olympics in Crawford County have been around for a while now. But a couple years ago, I've always wanted to be a cheerleader throughout my school career. I graduated in 2020. Unfortunately, that was when the pandemic, yeah. So my stepmom spoke to someone, and they finally created a cheer squad, and we did a game back in 2020 of like, and either 2019, 2020. But over the years, the cheerleading team has gotten very more popular, so it's more normalized. So now we cheer at all the Special Olympics basketball home games. So I've been a part of that for a couple of years.
Oh, congratulations! That sounds like a big accomplishment to do that.
Yeah, cheerleading is one of my passions.
And I also through the research for this, I also learned that you love anything Zac Efron.
Yes, I do. Are you aware of who that is?
I believe I think he's an actor.
He is. He is. So if your daughter ever watches High School Musical or The Greatest Showman, he's in those.
Okay.
And a lot of other movies, but there's other family ones.
Uh-huh.
So,
How did you learn about him?
so I've liked Zac Efron since I was very little. I actually watched High School Musical the night it premiered all those years ago. And that's what started my love of Zac Efron.
Wow. Does it make you nervous to be a spokesperson, a leader, after being crowned, to know that there are a lot of people that are looking to you as a role model?
No, because I've always been an outgoing person and a bubbly person and like to be around people. I'm definitely a people person, especially around kids. And I've always wanted to work with kids despite with what other people may try to tell me. And with this title, it's giving me the opportunity to do so.
Right. And Miss Wheelchair 2023, have you kept in contact with her?
Yeah, she's actually one of the main people that I tried to reach out to with any questions I may have, as well as the state coordinator for such,
Oh,
who happens to be Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2020.
oh, okay. And so I also see by winning the competition for Miss Wheelchair Ohio that there is another competition coming up.
Yes, in August, I will go to Grand Rapids, Michigan for the national competition where all state title holders of all 50 states will go there to compete for the title of Miss Wheelchair America. Not to be confused with Miss Wheelchair USA. It is strictly two different things, and it is strictly Wheelchair America. I actually have a couple fundraisers opened, one being a t-shirt link that will be closing May 12th, and I will be having a raffle Mother's Day weekend on Facebook if anyone wants tickets that will help contribute to my fees of the national competition.
And your Facebook profile is your first name and last name? Or is it Miss Wheelchair Ohio?
Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2024, Gabby Kozinski.
Okay, great. Yeah, and we want to definitely recommend our viewers, our listeners. We will air this episode prior to May 12th, so we can get this information in front of as many people as we can from our side. So thank you for sharing that information. What else what would you like us to make sure we share and cover?
So, since being crowned Miss Wheelchair Ohio back in early March, I have been busy all throughout not only this past month, but already this month with making appearances. I have gone to schools, met with my local mayor, talked on podcasts like this one. I actually just went to a meeting called with one of the community groups here in town to talk about my plans for not only my community, but throughout the whole state and eventually America.
Oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration. Having such big goals, I can relate of wanting to have big goals and making a big difference, and you're already making such a big difference. So just to share, I'm not sure if I did it at the beginning of our communication that John Butchko, who is also a member of our Voices for Voices board of directors, we were having a discussion a couple weeks ago about potential guests, and yours was the top. Your name and your information was the top one that came to mind. So I'm very thankful that he was able to share the information, and that you had the availability with as many appearances, trying to schedule those as you're getting ready for the August competition.
I will ask before we go out there at some point, can I please take a screenshot of us on the phone? That way I can post it to my professional Facebook page.
Oh, you absolutely can. And I was going to ask you if we could do it here in the studio too, so you could see the inner workings of where the cameras are and how that.
That would, you could please just send it to me so I can have it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's something, Meg, whose voice you heard, that's something I tend to bug her about after we finish filming, is to kind of have the proof, because we do sometimes have a couple weeks between when we film the episodes and when they air, that we like to share with the community, our guests that are coming up, so they can keep their eye out and ears out for that. How can people learn more about the Miss Wheelchair Ohio competition? Like if they're looking for...
Actually, a website called misswheelchairohio.org.
Okay.
And you can also go to my professional Facebook page, the Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2024 Gabby Kozinski, or you can go to my email, the one I emailed you from.
Okay.
Or
yeah, so let me share. I'll share that with everybody. So yeah, the email address that Gabby is referring to is Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2020, and that is MS Wheelchair, WHEELCHAIROH 2020 at Outlook, OUTLOOK.com. And how to spell Gabby's last name, that is K.
2024.
Oh, 2024, I'm sorry. Okay. And you can spell... Yeah, and that's Kozinski, in case we haven't shared that before. So anything else that you want to make sure that we get across?
Also, if anyone wants me to make any appearances, you can get a hold of me at that email. Once again, that's Miss Wheelchair Ohio 2024 Gabrielle Kozinski at gmail.com. And I will look forward to hearing from you guys. Once again, also, my target audience is children, but I'm open to any and all appearances for the year.
Okay. And we'll make sure when we air the episode that we, because there's different settings, we'll make sure that it's available to children, that it's a children-friendly episode that we're able to share. Well, Miss Wheelchair Ohio, Gabby Kozinski, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you hang tight, I'll close out the episode, and then we'll get some photos, and then I will send those over to you.
Sounds good.
And we want to thank you also, our viewers, our listeners, those that are reading this transcript. This episode was awesome. We had a celebrity, Miss Wheelchair Ohio, joining us from Bucyrus, Ohio. She was able to share her platform, Knowledge is Power, open to appearances, targeting children, but really anybody, all ages, are welcome to reach out to her and learn more about the competition and about helping her fundraise for her expenses for, what was that? I'm sorry.
And my platform.
In Gabby's platform. So please check that information out. We greatly appreciate, obviously, helping others, and I can't think of a better way to help others than to help cover the expenses of the trip so she can compete at the national level, was just very exciting. So until next time, I am Justin Allen Hayes, founder and executive director of Voices for Voices, and you can find us on all platforms, audio, video, and also on Hudson Community Television. So until next time, we hope that you are a voice for you or somebody in need. Take care.